Living paycheck to paycheck and spending everything you get is the easiest route to hardship and financial slavery. Are you tired of the vicious cycle? Then you need to put in place some structures and rules to manage your finance and get on track. Simply avoiding to manage your finances is the first step in losing control of your finances and sliding into debt and money issues. Applying the right rules of personal finance allows you to quickly find solutions rather than having to reinvent the wheel for every money issue you encounter. They are the rules you absolutely must follow if you are determined to get results. These unbreakable laws apply to everyone. They are simple but indispensable. Spend less than you earn. This has nothing to do with being frugal or depriving yourself of necessities. It entails finding a balance. Your happiness shouldn't depend on extravagant spending or the acquisition of material possessions. You've got to live below your means, not based on means. The only way to advance financially is to continue to live comfortably below your earning powers. Many live far above what they can comfortably afford. This is the most basic of all rules, yet many people consistently fail at it. Your level of income is also not a justification. You must spend less than you make if you want to keep having money in the bank or anywhere else. If you're currently struggling to make ends meet or spending more than you're earning, you should first focus on getting that under control. Review all of your monthly expenditures and make a note of your present financial standing. What do you spend your monthly income on and how much? Analyze your debt level, that is your credit score, and how much you owe. How much do you save? What are your dreams? All these are essential questions to which you need to provide honest answers. While you shouldn't be too hard on yourself, you also shouldn't ignore them. If you aren't completely honest with yourself, no savings hacks can ever help you. Take action if your financial awareness has made you realize that you are spending too much money on unnecessary items. Start cutting back on your non-essential spending. However, you must approach this with extreme caution. Be realistic and be determined to make it work. Save as much as you can. Before you think of investing, save. Pay yourself first. It sounds so simple, but only a few people follow this advice. Your salary is different from your savings. One does not replace the other. A high income does not necessarily make you wealthy, and neither does having a low income automatically make you poor. Your ability to save from your earnings, no matter how little, is all that matters. The only way to escape being a long-term slave to your wages is by cultivating a saving habit. The profits on your savings can be utilized to boost the quality of your life, reduce your working year before retirement, or even fund your retirement. The best investment choice you can make is to have a high savings rate because this will enable you to invest when great opportunities present themselves. You know that to take full advantage of any business or investing opportunities, you need funds. Quite a number of financial experts say before you start investing, you need to have the equivalent of 6 months of your net income tucked away in an emergency fund. This may sound too ambitious as a goal, but if you start saving money out of every paycheck, you should be able to accomplish it much quicker than you might imagine. Build an emergency fund. Consider setting aside 3 to 6 months worth of expenses in a separate account for emergencies. You need to have at least 6 months worth of expenses saved if you're a household with just one income earner. And if your home has 2 earners, you should have at least 3 months worth of spending set aside. This is based on the theory that says the fewer sources of income you have, the more money you need to set apart somewhere. An emergency fund is money saved up for unforeseen circumstances and is easily accessible. Life is full of surprises and no one is ever fully prepared for emergencies, but having a little set aside will go a long way. It could be a sudden medical emergency, your car requires a new transmission, you lose your job, or some other astronomical unforeseen bills show up in the mail. You can rapidly access money from your emergency fund. Even though it could take 3 to 4 years to save up 6 months worth of costs, having an emergency fund is the single biggest factor in feeling financially secure. Start right away. Know your actual hourly wage. If your job contract states you're being paid $15 an hour, in all sincerity, you don't make $15 per hour. You actually make $15 per hour minus taxes, commuting costs, professional attire, work-related meals, and other out-of-pocket expenses. Oh, and don't forget to calculate how much time you spend on activities related to your job, such as hours spent driving to work, working from home, and getting ready for the office. You might find that you make far less money than you thought, To get you depressed is not the aim here, but to make you know the true worth and value of your time. Taking for instance, if your actual hourly rate is $8 and you decide to hang out with friends and spend $40 for drink, is spending 5 hours of your life with them worth it? Build a budget. To be able to live below or within your means, you've got to have a budget. As much as this doesn't sound pleasing to many, having a budget and sticking to it is the trick to spending less than what you earn and avoiding endless debt. Almost everyone hates the word budget because it always makes them feel like they don't have enough money to buy or do what they want. It seems limiting, but there's a good reason for that. Sometimes you don't have enough money to buy or do what you want, but with a budget, you get a global view of your income and expenditure. It enables you to effectively plan on the little you have, and this allows you to be creative. Life becomes relatively easier and less stressful if you get over the psychological barrier that budgets are constraining. The same goes for your meal. Create a menu. Never shop for groceries without a list. Making a weekly meal plan prevents you from spontaneous spending and cutting down on expensive meals. When you plan your meals in advance, you are aware of what you'll eat and how much it'll cost. Honestly, this singular act will bring about a notable change for many. Eliminate all high-interest debt. If paying off debt is one of your financial objectives, start with the loan with the highest interest rate. If you pay this off promptly, or as quickly as it's possible for you, you could save a ton of money. Paying interest is not enjoyable and can be very expensive. Ensure to always pick a credit card with a low interest rate. Otherwise, you'll end up spending more money eventually. In addition to that, avoid cards with annual fees. If at all possible, stay as far away from credit card debt as you possibly can. A smart way to harm your net worth is to accumulate credit card debt. Wherever possible, pay with cash, because you can see how much money you have left when you use cash rather than a credit card. You are less likely to overspend. Using cash also makes it easier to keep track of where your money is. And lastly, you should only purchase items that you can afford. You don't have to use your credit card for every purchase just because you have one. If you want to make a significant purchase, think it through to be sure you really want it, and then save up money for it instead of going into debt. Have an additional source of income. This may sound unrealistic to some, perhaps you're already working long hours. You could also be of the opinion that you lack the necessary skills or capital to generate additional income. I assure you that in today's world, anyone can venture into anything. There are countless ideas, tutorials, and platforms online. Saving money and cutting back on expenses are excellent ways to improve your financial situation. But if you aren't also working to advance your profession or multiply your revenue, then you're working on an incomplete strategy. There are far too many people who believe that there is nothing they can do to improve their job situation. That's a poor excuse. Take on extra responsibilities or switch jobs. The most important is earn more money. Everyone aspires to become financially independent, yet there's no other way to achieve this other than hard work, spend less than you earn, and save a significant amount of your income. It's not all about retirement, but financial freedom. The objective should be to reach a point where you no longer have to worry about money, not just about having some extra cash to go on vacations and pursue your dreams. Although you might disagree with some of these rules, keep in mind that personal finance is a personal responsibility. Thanks for watching.